promised myself I would actually take some video of this car while it's together. So here I am. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a cloudy day today, and the paint just won't show it. You can see with the overcast, the shadows make this car look kind of silver. But in reality, this is tuxedo black. It's kind of a metallic color. I don't know if you can tell in there. It's too overcast. But in the sun, it really sparkles. So here's the basic rundown of the car. This is a 1992 GT. It's not a Cobra. I've had some people that don't know Foxbodies, you know, ask or comment that it's a nice Cobra, but this is a GT. Anyway, I bought this car about 3 years ago because it was during the pandemic and I couldn't get parts for anything else, and you can get parts for a Foxbody, so I bought one. I've kind of grown up with Foxbody, so it was relatively easy to jump into it and get it put together. I bought the car painted, actually. It was almost all stock. It had Flowmasters and gears in it, I think, but the rest of it was stock. So I've done most of the work except for the paint, which I'm very thankful for. I'm not a paint and body person. I hate bringing it places, so I'm happy that it was done already. The wheels we're looking at, these are Bogart D14s. Right now they're 15 by 10s in the rear with a Hoosier QuickTime Pro 27-inch. It's a 27 by 10.5 tire on there. But normally for street duty, I have a full set of 18-inch wheels that I use on it. Same wheels, I just swap the rears so that I have an 18-inch rear as well. The interior, I got a bunch of crap in there, but I guess I can show it. It's relatively stock. There's no aftermarket gauges or anything in the car, so it looks pretty clean when you're there. It does have these Corbeau seats in it. I'm a big, tall, giraffe-looking kind of guy, and I needed a little extra headroom compared to the stock seats. I had redone the stock leather seats in it, and I just sat too tall. So I had these left over from a different car, and I popped them in here, and I've just left them. I did replace the gray carpet with black carpet. Other than that, it's pretty much stock Foxbody interior. Let's see, engine. I guess I could have popped the hood while we were looking at that. This will be, by the way, one of the one-take classics. I'm not a video editor, so you gotta bear with me as I try and finagle this stuff with you guys connected. Woohoo! Quick prop. Here we go. Okay, so engine. This is a crate Ford 363 long block. It was available and sitting at Summit Racing when I bought the car, so I stopped at Summit and picked it up. It's basically a Boss block, 3.4-inch stroke, 4.125 bore, 363. Comes with the Ford Z2 heads. They're decent heads. I don't know a lot about them. They seem to be similar to a Victor Jr. head, but the casting's a little rough. Some other changes are there. It looks like an Edelbrock casting, but there's just not a lot of information out there for them. You can actually see I got a little problem right here. My belt just started to walk off of one rib. I'm gonna have to look at that. Anyway, so that's the long block Holley Systemax intake. Pretty inexpensive build in a lot of ways. It's a box stock intake. It's a BBK throttle body. It's got a Vortech YSi blower on it at the moment. It's currently seeing about 24 pounds of boost. It's got a Tremec TKX 5-speed manual trans in there. Stock 8.8 rear end with 373 gears. It's got a stock fuel tank, but you know, a big pump in it and big lines all the way to the front, big injectors. The car is on Holley EFI. Last year with a Vortech TI blower making about 20 pounds of boost, it made 765 at the tire. Based on what I'm seeing, the data I have, I haven't made it to the dyno yet, but it should easily be in the 900 horsepower range right now. The motor itself is relatively stock the way it came from Ford. I did put a different oil pump in to get a little more oil pressure, changed the valve springs to deal with the boost and the higher revs I'm turning it, and I gapped the rings for boost. The car does run on E85, so that helps out a lot with all of that stuff. And let's see, it is actually a stock K-member car, but it does have BMR tubular front control arms on it. It's got bare 13-inch brakes and a good old 4-lug pattern hiding behind the wheels here. The rear, you can't fit that big of a brake in it with a 15-inch rear, so this is it depends on who you talk to. It's from a turbo coupe. It's a 10-inch brake setup off of a turbo coupe or a 93 Cobra. They make an 11.65 kit, but it just doesn't quite clear this 15-inch wheel, which is a little bit of a bummer. Anyway, just to round out the front of the car, it's BBK, relatively inexpensive headers. Out the bottom of the car is their BBK long tubes, and then at the bottom of the car it's got a hooker header is 3-inch catback exhaust and X-pipe, so it's an X-pipe, 3-inch mufflers, full exhaust right to the back of the car. Boy, I think that's really the majority of what we have here. Let's start it up and get a little idle clip in here so that we can hear the car. I guess while I'm doing that, I'll mention working air condition. The radio is terrible. It needs to be redone. I just haven't got there yet. But heat and AC all work. Parking brake works. Keys in my pocket. That's gonna make life difficult. There we go. And let's see if she fires right up.